Hello everyone. I am back today with another video for you, and we're going to talk about evaluating algebraic expressions. Now, previously, a day or two ago, we worked on writing algebraic expressions, and you learned how to write them like an n plus 8, depending upon the situation, or maybe it was 8 divided by n, right? In those algebraic expressions, we had a variable, and it could be any letter. I happen to use n here, but it could be any letter. You'll find that some are used more frequently than others, but you can choose which one you want to use. Well, today our job is we're going to evaluate, or we're going to sort of solve them here. Okay, so let me move to the next page. Okay, so let's look what this says. Find the value of the expression. So if we look at the first one, it says 3 plus m if m was equal to 8. So in this expression, it's telling us what m is. M is 8. So it's our job to plug the 8 here in for m, and then we need to solve. So if I plug 8 in, 3 plus 8, so 3 plus 8 would give us 11 as our answer. All we did was plug 8 in for our variable and solve. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's move across here. So this one says w to the second power, or we also call this squared. So w squared minus 8 is what we're trying to solve, if w is equal to 5. So I need to plug 5 in for w here. So my problem is 5 squared, or to the second power, minus 8. Okay, now we have two things to do. We have an exponent, and it wants us to subtract 8. So if you remember, back towards the beginning of the year, we used order of operations, right? PEMDAS. So P stands for we do the parentheses first. The E says we do exponents. So that looks like it comes first here. So I need to do 5 to the second power, or 5 squared. Now remember, 5 squared is not 10. This means 5 times 5. It means you have two 5s that you are multiplying together, right? And two 5s give us 25. So the only thing we have left is minus 8. And 25 minus 8 would give you an answer of 17 here. Okay? Again, all we did was plug it in and then use our order of operations if needed. Let's move down to this one. 9a minus 7. And it's saying if a is equal to 3. Okay, so I'm going to plug 3 in here for a. Now, we've talked about this before, but if you have a number and a letter together, this does not mean 93. Okay, so 93 is not what you're doing here. This means a number and a letter together means multiply. So this actually means 9 times a and subtract 7. Okay, a number and a letter together indicate multiplication. So if we go back up here to our order of operations and look at this, right? Multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. So that means I need to multiply first. Okay, so I know that a is worth 3. So 9 times 3 minus 7. So 9 times 3 is 27. And if I subtract 7, my answer to this would be 20. All right, let's look at the last one on this page. So this one says 4d to the third power, or we also call that cubed, and d is equal to 2. So I am going to plug the 2 in for the d first, right? I'm going to plug my 2 in. So let's remember what this means. A number and a letter together means multiply. So this means 4 times d, which is 2, and 2 has the exponent of 3, or it's cubed. Okay, so again, we have two operations here. We need to multiply, and we have an exponent. So if we go back up here to the order of operations, the exponent needs to be done first. So we need to figure out 2 to the third. And 2 to the third is not 6. 2 to the third means 2 times 2 times 2. It means you have 3 2's here. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times another 2 is 8. So our problem here is really 4 times 8. And 4 times 8, our answer should be 32. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Okay, let's look at this one. The top of our page says, solve if y is 5 and d is 4. So as we look at this expression, we see we have two different variables. We have a y and a d. So the y represents 5 and a d represents 4. So let's rewrite this problem plugging in our numbers for the variables. So y is 5. So this means 3 times 5. Remember, a number and a letter together mean multiply. And so does my dot there, means multiply. And d is 4. So this means 2 times 4. So I'm going to use the dot again. Okay. So remember, we're going to use order of operations. Anytime you have more than one operation, we have to use order of operations. That should just come naturally to you. So we have multiplication and subtraction to do. So multiplication gets to be done first. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then 2 times 4 would be 8. So the only thing left now is subtraction. And 15 minus 8 comes to 7. So you may have more than one variable in a problem. This one has 2. You could have 3, so forth. So anytime that happens, y will always be 5 in this one, and your d will be 4. It tells you that straight up here. It's just a matter of plugging in the number or what it's worth for the variable. All right, this one says evaluate if n is equal to 8 and b is 3. So it looks like we have two variables again. We have an n and a b, right? So for the n, I'm going to plug in 8. So I'm going to rewrite this, plugging in 8 for n. And I'm going to plug in the 3 for the b. Okay, so now we need to do some solving. So we need to, again, use order of operations. We have multiple operations in this problem. I see addition. And also, if you remember back to the beginning of the year when we did order of operations, a number next to parentheses means to multiply. So this really means 2 times this parenthesis, right? All right, so according to PEMDAS, parenthesis needs to be done first. So we're going to do the inside of the parenthesis. 8 plus 4 is 12. Right? So I have times 2 and plus 3 left because I already did the inside of the parenthesis. So I have, remember this means multiplication. So I have multiplication to do and addition. So it looks like multiplication comes next. So 2 times 12 is 24. And then plus 3 is all we have left. So that gives us an answer of 27. Okay, so again, I plugged my numbers in for the letter and solved. Remember, a number next to a parenthesis is indicating multiplication. All right, let's look at one last one. All right, this problem says to solve if a is equal to 4. So our a's are equal to 4 here. I don't see any other variable. So I'm just going to rewrite everything, plugging in the 4 for my a. So my problem would be 4 to the third plus 6 on the top, and the bottom is 4 to the second power, or squared, minus 9. Okay, now this one looks a little different for the rest because it has this bar in here. And again, we've talked about this before in class, but that bar is an indicator for a division sign. So it means we need to figure out the total of the top and figure out the total of the bottom and then divide them. Anytime you see that big bar, it's telling you to divide. So again, we need to figure out the top. So if I look at the top of my fraction bar, it says 4 to the third plus 6. So I need to solve the exponent first, right? The exponent comes before addition. So 4 to the third is not 12. It means 4 times 4 times 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. And then I have one more 4 to multiply it by. So that would give me 64. Okay, so 64 plus 6. So the only thing I have left on the top here is addition. So 64 plus 6, it looks like the top part of my problem here is equal to 70. Now let's look at the bottom. 4 to the second, or 4 squared, minus 9. So again, that is not 8. 4 squared means 4 times 4. It means there's two 4s you're multiplying together. So that would be 16. And then the only thing left is minus 9. So 16 minus 9 is 7. And now the only thing we have left is division. So if you look at our problem, it says 70 divided by 7, which is a answer of 10. Okay? So as you're solving these problems, remember, it's giving you what the variable is equal to. It's a matter of plugging it in and then using your order of operations to solve them. Okay? Please don't try and do this in your head. You will make a ton of mistakes. Write it down and then solve. Okay? You have some practice to do today on Schoology. Okay, you are free to use your calculators if it will help you to add or subtract or so forth, but please show your work. Do not try and do this in your head. All right? Good luck with this. Message us if you need anything, and have a great day, guys.